Morning, gang. It's morning here in London, though you can't tell because it's gray. Thankfully, we have electricity. Hey, I just want to make a quick point today. We do this workshop, Eddie Prevost's workshop every Friday here, every Friday night at the Welsh Chapel, where it's free. You just come and play and you experience and learn and develop your free improvisation skills, or at least the free improvisation that we know and love here in England and Europe, but more English specifically, because Eddie Prevost and AMM Music, along with Spontaneous Music Ensemble, look up those two groups, AMM Music, Spontaneous Music Ensemble. They literally started this whole thing in 1962. Eddie's still with us. He teaches, tries to lead us on our merry way to greater enhancement every Friday night at the Welsh Chapel here in London. Okay, so with that said, last night, I don't always, when my bandmate Nathan Moore, N.O. Moore, who's, for my money, the best guitar player in England. So we're in the London Experimental Ensemble together, but we rarely sit next to each other in the circle that we do. I put a video up about 6 months ago or something like that to kind of show you the setup. So what that means is it's rare if you're not sitting next to somebody, you have to be, so it starts in a circle, everything goes around the circle, and there's like two people play, then a third person joins in, then the first person drops out, then a third person joins in, and then that third person drops out slowly but surely, and you feel your way through it until you get all the way around the circle. Okay, so that's like the first half of every workshop. And then later, Eddie will choose up teams of, 3 people each. It depends how many people show up to play together. So I don't always get to play with Nathan. But last night, we sat next to each other. It was totally by happenstance. And I was like, oh, cool. I'm going to get to play with Nathan. And Nathan is sitting next to Eddie. So for at least a short while, it's Eddie, Nathan, and me. It was awesome. We did some really cool work. The point is, Nathan showed up with his 6-string electric and a pedal board. And it was a pedal board I hadn't seen him with before. And I've seen many pedal boards over the last 9 years, as he has seen the same from me. And I was looking at it, and I noticed some interesting choices, some choices I've had before. So he had a ringworm ring mod. Ring mod is kind of important to us experimental guitar players, at least in my opinion. So Nathan had the ringworm. I have 3 or 4 different ring mods. Henry has a lot of ring mods. He had the ringworm. He had the Freya fuzz. I think it was the Freya from Fjord fuzz. And that was always on. I think the ringworm was the only thing that wasn't always on, and that's my point here. So he had that. He had the co-pilot broadcast, the old one. He had a bunch of other pedals that were off the Frost Wave. Remember that Frost Wave filter? It's like, I guess it's a, what was it? The M20, the Korg M20 filter. It's based on that, and it was fantastic. I had one. They were very hard to get. They're probably even harder to get now, though. Shouldn't people be making copies of these? Tell me if you know of one. And on and on and on. And I noticed that except for the ringworm, as I said, everything was on. And I was like, huh. And I was kind of wondering about that. And finally, at the end of the 2 hours, as we were packing up, I'm like, dude, what's going on there? And he's like, oh, he goes, I've got the co-pilot CV expression device that splits it. And so you can put a couple expression pedals in, and that can control different devices. And then I have other expression pedals. I'm like, okay, so you're always on? Like everything is always on? And he's like, yeah, pretty much. And you're just controlling everything with your feet. He's like, yeah. He goes, because then that way, and I was like, say no more. You're not tap dancing. You're not tap dancing, one of my biggest pet peeves. And what do you do with your feet anyway? You're controlling time with one usually. So he's got both feet going through a distribution device and an expression CV distribution device to the different pedals. And he's controlling them with 3 expression pedals. I think at least 3, could have been 4. And so that way he's just playing and he's totally free and he's not in the middle of playing and then you got to tap on this and then you got to tap on that and then this and then the combination of these two, that's always bugged me. Everything on and controlling with expression pedals. Now, I have friends like Henry who hate expression pedals. I get it. But for me, and I've been thinking this for a long time, and I only started using expression pedals maybe 10 years ago, believe it or not. Yeah, I don't know. I didn't grok it until then, but now they're a big part of what I do. But Nathan's thing is like the next step. He's like, I'm going to have a sound. And he always, every time I've played with him for 9 years, he has a sound. And that sound, even if it's different from gig to gig, session to session, it's on point. It's a great sound. And then he's just going. He's controlling everything. It's kind of brilliant. So, and it also allows him to bring a smaller board. He used to bring, we did a session once where he brought a board that was twice as big as anything I've ever had. And I think, like me, he just got tired of that. And also, again, you don't want to separate here and here, right? You want to keep the head and heart connected and not be thinking too much and tap dancing. So what do you think? This was kind of a revelation to me last night, and I couldn't stop listening to him or watching him. Everything he did was absolutely brilliant. I mean, he's brilliant already. Like I said, I think he's the best guitar player in England, but oh my God, this truly woke me up. So everything on, control things with expression pedals, and you're freer. I don't know. Thought of the day. I'd love to hear your feedback.